Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another video of the F1 2021 Driver Career Mode with Williams, episode number 7 today for the British Grand Prix in Season 1. If you did miss the previous episode uploaded at Austria earlier this week, then recommend you go and check that video out, and of course subscribe if you are new to the channel. See plenty more F1 2021 career mode videos as when they come out. I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers as soon as possible, so yes, massively helps me out. Thank you for your support. But as you can see in the background, just going through some R&D again. I hate the UI on this year's game, but we're just got to live with it. One of the sachet upgrades failed, and two of them actually failed, which is bad. I mean, they both failed. So we were hoping to be catching Haas for this episode, coming into Britain, home race for the team, for me, for George, and well, no upgrades on the car, and there's now a visible gap between ourselves and Haas. So, well, Silverstone was a struggle on last year's game, and already it's looking like it's going to be a struggle now, trying to be competitive, and yet the fact of the matter is the car is the worst on the grid, even slower than Haas who have brought more upgrades. So we need some upgrades to go through, and we need to start making grounds toward Alfa Romeo if we want a chance of being actually competitive consistently this season. But anyway, moving to qualifying then for Silverstone, to the track where I didn't do very well on F1 2020, only won once, that was in a modded career mode. Never did I get anything other than, I think, P7 was the highest I managed in the career mode. And in typical fashion, yes, you guessed it, that's right, we're last place going into our final lap. Can we actually beat Russell? Even a twat is beating both of us, which just shows how bad those two upgrades, how much of a disaster really it is having to purchase those two failures. We will repurchase them, and also it stops me purchasing new upgrades with that, because I've got to spend more R&D points on them. But coming through the lap, then we're not doing very well. That corner, Cops was a pain on F1 2020, and is even worse on F1 2021. Maggots and Becketts was in pain on F1 2020, and is even worse on F1 2021. The rest of the lap, I'm not too bad. You can see we're half a second slower than Giovinazzi in the second sector. We are gaining some time. We have got some warm parts thanks to the quick practice bug, so that's something to look at. As well, we might take some new parts on the ones that are warm, although I'm not looking to take a fresh one because it's bottom place basically. Lewis Hamilton gets pole, he's starting to run away with it in the championship. Hopefully season 2 onwards it'll be a bit more interesting. McLaren are the only other team that have won so far this year, this season, but we do beat George Russell to 19th place, which is not a lot considering the fact that we're 2.7, and if you think about it, we're still a second over Haas. The control electronics and energy store are a little bit worn, so I'm gonna take 2 more of those as well coming into the Silverstone. So we're going to start last place. We'll see what we can do with the new parts. As I say, and points would be nice. It's time for the home race at Silverstone.
We return once again then to the home of British motorsport and the birthplace of the Formula One World Championship. It's race day here at Silverstone, and it's time for the British Grand Prix. With good opportunities to overtake at the end of the Wellington and Hangar Straights, there's a lot of potential for close action around the 3.6 miles of the Silverstone circuit. With 18 corners and average lap speeds of around 145 miles per hour, it's also one of the longest and quickest circuits on the calendar. And as always, a man with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today it's Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, you're no stranger to surviving the melee of turn 1. So how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
There are three main things to worry about there, Crofty. Positioning, awareness and discipline. First, you have to put your car in a bit of space and make sure you have room to react to what the others are doing. Then you have to watch your mirrors and listen to the sounds around you to get a sense of where everyone is. And finally, just don't get too greedy. Just because a gap exists doesn't always mean you should go for it.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Ricciardo, Norris, Charles Leclerc and Verstappen, Perez, Sainz, Gasly and Fernando Alonso, Tsunoda, Stroll, Sebastian Vettel and Ocon, Raikkonen, Giovinazzi, Mick Schumacher and Nikita Mazepin, Russell and a Williams. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Okay, I know it's your home Grand Prix, but treat it like any other race. Don't take unnecessary risks.
Now heroics into turn 1, understood, Jeff. So yes, last place on the grid. Don't know where we're going to end up. We'll have to wait and see. As well. So interesting about the strategy. Don't quite know if I'm going to. I'm in an iron about doing the medium to soft tyre strategy. In the end though, I did actually opt to do the soft to medium strategy. Felt I was a little bit too far back to try it, and it would have been a good strategy because my first run we have managed to make up 10 places on the start, and then of course the game decided otherwise because it froze, and then you guessed it, the game then went on to crash, just like that. So that's really annoying that we couldn't have a good start. So instead we're going to head back to 5 red lights with the game, hopefully not going to crash this time, and away we go. And it's a good start, better than Russell's a dreadful start, and Schumacher also a dreadful start for him. We're going to go side by side with Schumacher into turn 1. Oh, so close to the back of the twat in the other Haas. We're going to dive down the inside of about 4 or 5 cars there. Down the inside of Stroll. Can we get Vettel as well? To try and have a look around the outside. He's slowed to the inside, and we're going to get the outside line. And that's a lovely, precise move. Really, that allowed me to move up into P13 there. Sorry, P12 I think it was. As Norris did also try to dive bomb Hamilton and Bottas. Bottas though comes out on front. So we're watching the battle ahead. Tsunoda and Alonso, 2 people we've seen quite a few recently. We're trying to get involved in the background in the Williams behind, but the pace isn't there, I must admit. Through Maggots and Becketts on the old start finish straight Brooklands, it's just horrific compared to the AI. So we're trying to squeeze Vettel out. Out at the end of the Wellington Straight, but already there there's a little bit of tie banging actually going on with the rear with myself and Vettel, and that's going to allow Stroll to get past his teammate, catch his teammate napping you. Stroll will have the better line coming out of the final corner, but obviously Vettel is a 4-time world champion. He's not going to take it lying down, and comes back at Stroll following lap around the outside. This is hoping these 2 Aston Martins battle, get ahead. Stroll picks the inside of turn 1, and Vettel able to go around the outside, but unfortunately Stroll gets him back again. As Gasly now has got an issue with the car, and is really a sitting duck, so we're past. Stroll is past as well. I'm sure Vettel will be past. So Gasly not having a great time of it. I mean, if you remember rightly, we spun around at Austria, as Stroll, very aggressive move through Maggots and Becketts again, sliding about with the new tyre model. We're coming in at the end of the lap anyway, but as Stroll might have a think at the end of the straight. No, he doesn't, and we retain P11. thanks to Gasly's demise. But yeah, Gasly, he did have some good results, but now he's starting to struggle a bit. The engine, it's no fault of his own. He had a good recovery to get P10 at Austria, but he did spin. So, and now he, of course, the engine is just starting to give way for him, really. So, I'm sure that'll be frustration for him. He'll be looking to improve. As we're coming in now, we need a good stop here from the Williams if we want to try and chase the cars ahead. 2.4 seconds. I mean, we could have better, but I mean, we could have worse. So we'll take the 2.4 seconds. We're going to have to be coming out, of course, in last place. It'd be nice if we could catch Alonso. He's 3 seconds up the road, but I don't think we have the pace to be able to really take on the Alpine, especially the fact that we're overdriving the car as it is, because you know how woeful it is on paper. As Yuki Tsunoda is out of the race with an engine failure, so that's definitely interesting to watch. We might be on for a point here. We'll have to wait and see. As if through the pit stops, then Lewis Hamilton takes back the lead from Valtteri Bottas, and Lando Norris has got in front as well. So I think they've both undercut. As Vettel now is coming out the pits on lap 10, he's tried to overcut me. It's almost worked, but we're going to try and go around the outside at turn 3 into. Oh, there's a bang and some more banging of wheels there, and we just about squeezed through and back up into P10. But it was important there that we didn't allow Vettel there. Obviously opened the gap up to take the racing line, but then just sort of cut back across us, tried to saw what we were doing and then tried to aggressively cut back across us, which didn't work. But Vettel, of course, he's not going to give up on a point. We're going to squeeze him off circuit as well, down the old start finish straight into Copse. It's very slidey through Copse, and he's surely going to have another go. Oh dear, they're going 3 wide into Maggots and Becketts. That's not going to end well. And somehow I think we've managed to get about. Oh no, we haven't. There's a safety car. Going to get a replay. Raikkonen gets squeezed out. Oh, it's Giovinazzi. He's just got into the back of Vettel. He's completely wiped out his front wing with the simulation damage. No bits of damage for any of us. We squeeze out. There was contact with both Vettel and Raikkonen, but yes, safety car though got deployed to clear up Giovinazzi's debris. I'm sure there's probably some floor damage, and between myself, Vettel and Raikkonen, by the way, did come in. So again, I think that's another glitch with the damage model. We're up to P10 then. Schumacher is in the P11. That hash is very high. It's a poor start on restart from the safety car on lap 12. Only this is the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix. As we head through turn 1, Schumacher has a go at us down the inside, but his little wide, his moment going a little bit wide allows Gasly to cut back in. And oh, he spun. The Schumacher spun. Oh, such a shame for Mick. He was actually on for good result, but in the end, he doesn't make it. And now Gasly's having a go through that Copse towards Maggots and Becketts. I'm pretty sure now he's fixed that issue. And again, the car just sliding about as if there's no grip whatsoever on the game, and that's going to allow Mazepin, and I think that's Ocon as well, who's been nowhere, and it also allows Stroll as well to come back, even though I don't know what happened to Stroll in the second half of the stint, but he's come back. But it's not going to matter for Ocon or Stroll. They're too far back, and we're coming through the final sequence of corners to get 1 point. And I will definitely take that 1 point at Silverstone, because that was not an easy race. Slithering and sliding about pretty much every lap through Copse, Maggots and Becketts, trying to defend against the AI, who just stick it up your inside like there's no tomorrow there. So I will definitely take that. It's another point to add to our little tally. Russell, a little bit better for him today, up to P14. Still behind Mazepin though, so I guess maybe if there wasn't quite so many people in the pits, like Gasly came in as well. Giovinazzi needed a new front wing as well. If you think about it, he's second to last of the one stopper. So, but his fastest lap is similar to ours. So it just really needs to focus on this. I think his starts could do with an improvement, but I can't obviously being just his teammate, can't do anything. In terms of the championship, then we retain P9 in the Drivers' Championship. Constructors were still on for P5 ahead of AlphaTauri. But we'll see if Sonoda and Gasly can solidify some results.
The fans really seem to enjoy that. You made it look easy. Who would you say is your biggest rival at the moment?
None of them. If I try, I'm not going to win any of them, Clem. The Williams.
How are the fans at your home Grand Prix treating you?
Well, we all know British Grand Prix. I mean, you saw the support we had, like the British Grand Prix in real life, so it's been
You
great.
were cutting your way through the field during the race.
Well, we had a good start, so just really the AI, thanks to them to getting out of the way and dive bombing them. We need to praise department, get the morale up, so we'll praise the car handling. Or actually, no, I think we're going to praise either the car handling or the grip.
You're surpassing all expectations. Can anything or anyone stop you?
We've praised the Sashi package, so we'll praise the aero department here.
Great. Well, that's everything.
So there we go. The British Home Grand Prix done. We'll see what we can do at Hungary next time out. Wasn't a great track for me on F1 2020 either. Sector 2 was painful on F1 2020, so I imagine it'll be painful on this year's game as well. We'll have to wait and see as well. And then Belgium will be the following round, and that's a better track for me, so yes, we have the roll dampers though, they've come through. We've got 1600 resource points. We've got a weight redistribution upgrade as that can come in. That's a minor one though, unfortunately. We're looking to get some major ones if we can't. I know there's quite a lot of upgrades that are just stacked there ready to come in. I'm pretty sure one of them at least is going to come and fail. We're still good though for engine parts as we enter the second half of the season. We still got 2 columns left of each component untouched, so we should be good to not take any more engine penalties, and unless we get a random failure of some part. The gearbox seems to be okay in terms of wear anyway, because I do quick practice in practice 2, and that uses the practice gearbox, so not really wearing that. So. But yes, if you then have enjoyed this video, then leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, see plenty more episodes of the F1 2021 Driver Career Mode as and when they come out. Until the next video then, I'll see you next time. Take care, thanks so much for watching, enjoy your day, and goodbye.